Are you thinking of owning your dream homes? EJ Investment is here for you. Secure our quality bungalows with 2, 3 or 4 bedrooms, or our story buildings 3 or 4 to 5 bedrooms at very affordable prices with flexible payment plans at our Sanyang Seaview Estate, where you can enjoy the cool breeze with modern infrastructure such as tar roads, covered drainage system, modern electrification with street lights, gated entrance with security posts, and social amenities such as gas station, shopping mall, medical clinic, park, schools, children daycare, and a lot more. Our dedicated team of professionals will keep the estate clean at all times, provide security and patrol team within the estate premises, install latest technologies such as CCTV, Wi-Fi, home network installation, solar panel, and power backup system. Also, check out for our additional home facilities and interior design service such as premium tiling, wall plaster, home landscape, fingerprint home lock, and a lot more. Visit our office at Senegambia Kololi Highway and get a free site visit tour, or contact us on 4464838. WhatsApp us on 3259220. Or you can visit our Facebook page or Instagram on EJ Investments. EJ Investments, we are first in properties.
All right.
Honey, did you remind him that the last time he sent the money, it was not enough to buy all the provisions?
Oh, sorry, I forgot to tell him.
Are you guys talking about money transfer to buy provisions?
Yes.
But don't you know about Baluwo?
Baluwo? What is Baluwo?
Baluwo is a service that your son can use to send provisions directly to you guys from the shop. And you don't have to worry about the exchange rate.
Tell me how Baluwo works.
It's very simple.
Just log on to baluwo.com and shop, or download the app on your phone. You can shop on the website or using the app to buy online basic products for your family and friends. With Baluwo, you decide what your money is spent on. Your money, your choice. Buy online products for your family and friends in the Gambia, Senegal, Nigeria or Mali. Baluwo, better than sending money.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. I welcome you all, starting with my Deputy Mayor, CEO, Commissioner of Municipal Police, Director of Compliance, Honorable Councillors, Regional Director, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, Regional Director SIS, Regional Director Immigration, Regional Police Commissioner, Gambia Police Force, Operations Officer, Serakunda Police Station, Operations Officer, Bundung Police Station, Commander, Republican National Guards, Divisional Fire Officer, Fire and Rescue Services, Commissioner of Prisons, Commissioner of PIU, the Security Task Force for the region, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great pride today we announce that the Kanifing Municipal Council has come up with its first comprehensive bylaws. Since we came into office in 2018, we have had many complaints from members of our community about the lack of order, civil disobedience, conflicts between neighbors and community members, all because of lack of local governance. One of Council's biggest responsibilities as a local government authority is to establish order and the rule of law within its communities. The Constitution does not cover all these aspects. There are many I would term as micro issues within our communities, including loud noise, obstruction of routes, having ceremonies and other public events late at night without consideration of your neighbors. And this is why we have come up with comprehensive bylaws to guide our communities and to ensure there are penalties if one disrupts their community. With my council members, together we have debated this over a year, and we are proud to say we have now introduced the first of its kind comprehensive bylaws for our municipality. Today we have all the security task force heads, all because we need help, and it's all our responsibility to make sure it is fully enforced. KM is our municipality. It is the center of Gambia. If it's organized, we believe Gambia will be organized. If we respect each other and exercise neighborliness, we believe all Gambians will do the same. As we always say, KM leads by example, and you, the security task force chiefs, we will rely heavily on you to make sure that these bylaws are fully enforced. We also thank you for all these years of cooperation and all the sacrifice and help you have given to our municipality and our council, and we look forward to a continuous and fruitful relationship. The media, we will task you to help us communicate to all residents of our municipality so they fully understand what these bylaws are and its importance. Because if people know, and this is all people, then I believe this municipality will be better for all of us. I thank you all. Behind me, we have the Commissioner of Municipal Police, Malamin Sise. We have also the Commissioner of Gambia Police Force, KM Region, Mr. Amadou Sabali, and they will also be here as resource persons in case there are more technical questions. It's a loaded question, so for areas I cannot fully answer, I will allow the commissioners. So I think first of all, what I want to clarify, I'm not saying that this is the first of its kind bylaws. What I can say is I, as a mayor, have come in and have found no evidence of bylaws ever being created. Since KMC was the Carnifing Rural Authority, then it was KUDC to KMC, we have no evidence of such bylaws. That's why I did not say it's the first ever. I said it's the first comprehensive bylaws. That's number one. Number two, of course, the security task force and the security infrastructure within our municipality is expected to enforce this because this is not just about the council. Laws are laws. Every enforcement agency has a duty to enforce them if they are perpetrators who have committed any, I wouldn't call them crimes, but civil disobedience or whatnot. Secondly is, of course, our municipal police are at the forefront of this. We have almost about 150 men. The commissioner can correct me. But of course, that is not enough to police 50,000 residents and 500,000 Gambians. And this is why we have these partnerships with the rest of the security apparatus. So of course, the most important thing here is community policing. Is us in the residence, us in our neighborhoods, to tell people when they are wrong. And if they don't listen, to report them to the right authority. I think this is what good citizenship is about, and this is what we will expect our residents of KM to do. Lastly, like I said, we expect the media, and of course we will partner with you, with our public relations, to get the message out. And this is in all languages, all local languages, so people can absorb it and understand it. But of course, our WDCs are here, which is the Ward Development Committees. We also have councillors in their different areas. And we have our community service. And we hope to have community outreach programs and sensitization to really make people aware that now there's new laws that guide our interactions within our communities. Commissioners, I don't know if anybody wants to add.
I think you've answered.
All right. All right. I think it's called a town hall as the city center or the municipal building, but I'm not sure if they call it town hall to hold ceremonies. But what we have is we have community centers. We have about 8, and they all have halls, and that's the purpose, to hold community events. Hopefully we can have a bigger hall for such events. But this town hall specifically, What they really mean is the city center, the city hall, is where the council sits, and we can hold events that bring development or events that have value in terms of community engagement to improve our work. But I don't think we will have any naming ceremonies there. Before I hand to the Commissioner, I would just like to acknowledge the presence of King Koli. I did not see him, of Mobile Police. He's a very good partner of the Council, and we also seek his support in these bylaws. Commissioner.
If you go through these bylaws, Section 12 of these bylaws Act, that anybody found wanting, you will be arrested and taken to court. And when the judge passes his verdict or the magistrate passes his verdict, actually the penalty will be, if you are found guilty, $1,000 is in default, 3 months imprisonment. That's the penalty, applied to this bylaw.
Of laws in our society is not something that is happening all the time.
Gambians are not law-abiding. I think Gambia is one of the most peaceful countries in Africa, if not the world, and I think it's because our people are largely law-abiding. However, I think what you're saying is there's a lack of order and organization, and this is why we have introduced these bylaws, because they did not exist. I think Gambians will abide, of course, if they are told, and secondly, if there's some enforcement. Human beings are human beings. If there's lack of monitoring or enforcement, we tend to do what we like. We've seen it in our traffic. People park where they like. They do U-turns and turn in areas where they shouldn't. People throw trash all over the place. They put sand when they're building and block the road. It's because of a lack of these bylaws. So we expect our partners in the security sector, of course, will help us to make sure it's fully implemented. It will not be easy. Habits die hard. But it's up to all of us to understand that there's good in this and to really promote these bylaws and make sure people understand it and value it. I'm sure many times you have a party in your neighborhood and you want to sleep 2 a.m. in the morning, and that person who's holding a party doesn't have a permit. So this is why we bring these laws, to bring order. And I think I'll allow the commissioners, if they want to come in.
As the mayor rightly said, this municipality is governing, and if you have to govern, you must bring laws in place, or rules or regulations in place. So for the security service, it has been given to us that we have to attend the workshop that they provided, isn't it, Mayor? And then we are represented, the whole security services are represented here. Our representation here is to convey the bylaws to our subordinates, and we forge ahead to see that we support this municipality. The municipality belongs to everybody, and whosoever violates will be dealt with. But notwithstanding, something like this, a press conference, workshops, radio programs are there to sensitize people. It has just started. It started with providing the bylaws. Then there was a workshop for all stakeholders. Now it is the press conference. From here on, other, sensitizations will be conducted. So with that, I think what the mayor said earlier on, Gambians are law-abiding. Yes, in any community that you are, there must be some defaulters. We cannot avoid that. But in the case that we have defaulters, we will manage them. And providing the laws is something that is governing the region. So this is it. I think we have to understand each other. Thank you very much.
All right, that's a loaded question. I will try, and maybe Director of Services, you can help where I lapse. The first one, I believe you're talking about our markets and no dumping. Yes. We noticed that as well. We created an anti-littering unit at our services department because of that. and I think we have fined several individuals. Like I said, we still lack in the enforcement area, and this is why we have brought the bylaws. So now also the security sector can also have that ability to assist us. I think in certain sections of the bylaws, you'll see there about anti-littering and illegal dumps. You mentioned our Mbalit project. What I can say to that is, since we introduced the Mbalit project, now we have seen the disappearances of illegal dump sites within the community. Almost 400 tons that would have been spread around the municipality daily, 400 tons of waste are now going to the official dump site. I will let the Director of Services also expand on that, especially the donkey carts.
Yeah, thank you very much, Your Worship. As you rightly mentioned, we have formed what we call the anti-littering team, and then they have been working tremendously along the riverine areas. And then we have so far prosecuted or taken about 115 donkey carts to our municipal police, and then some of them have definitely paid the fines of $1,000. And then, as he rightly mentioned, we are constrained in terms of enforcement, but we are trying to ensure that some of these things we definitely apply it. That's why we come up with these bylaws. And then this anti-littering team have gone around along the main highways, and then they have served final notice to the shop owners. And then by next week, we are definitely going after them to ensure that each shop has a bin, and then you are going to clear 1 meter from your shop. So we are going to embark on those activities. We have started it, and then we'll make sure that we continue to try to enforce. So you'll be surprised, because this bylaw we are definitely going to enforce, and then that's why we call in the security personnel to go here, so that when we are enforcing, they can also, be at our help to ensure that we execute these bylaws. Thank you very much.
I think when we were creating these bylaws, we came up with different penalties for different offenses. But remember, we are a local government authority. We are not yet fully decentralized. We have to operate, of course, in conjunction with the Ministry of Justice and, of course, within the umbrella of the Constitution. So when we sent our various charges, the Attorney General Chambers was referring to the Constitution, and actually we agreed on this final one, which is not as much as we would want, but it is based on their advice, and this is why it is as such. So just to clarify on what the Commissioner of Municipal Police said, it is $1,000 or 3 months in jail. It's not both. It's an option. $1,000 or 3 months in jail for any offenses. The Director of Compliance wants to clarify on certain things.
Good morning to you all here. I want to clarify a question asked by one of journalists here regarding the town hall. The law has already mandated the Lord Mayor to be an assistant registrar of marriage and death. So for that being the case, Council sooner or later will be liaising with the Ministry of Justice to ensure that those weddings are taking place at Council. And if that is done, registration will be made here, and then we have that. Possibly what the man asked would be possible in Council chambers here. And also, in addition to what the Lord Mayor has said, the Council bylaws, whatever we are doing, it should be in consistence with the laws of the Gambia, especially the Constitution and other laws of the Gambia. When the Constitution, when the bylaw is put in place, it has been sent to the Ministry of Justice to scrutinize it properly to see whether there is inconsistency. When there is no inconsistency with the bylaw, it was brought back, and then these penalties were also attached to it. So that's what I want to add. Thank you so much.
Bylaws are created by the Council. We can add more bylaws, we can remove bylaws, we can amend bylaws. So it's a matter of all the councillors who are lawmakers at the local level sitting and voting and agreeing that we want to change, remove, or amend a bylaw. So these bylaws are the foundation, like I said. Future councils can come and they can amend or add different versions. How we operate is no different from the parliament to a certain degree. We are legislatures at the local level. That's why it's a local government authority. I think King Koli wants to ask a question.
I just want to contribute on what they said. I mean, you have bylaws, and you have an act, then we have a constitution. Like, for instance, if an offender is caught on an offense like anti-littering, you looked at the bylaws of the KMC. If you feel that it is too light, then you can look under the Anti-Littering Act, under the NEA, National Environment Act. Like, for example, the banning of the plastic bags. Under the National Environment Act is a fine of not less than $3,000 or an imprisonment, higher punishment. The law is not stagnant. It's an offense. Maybe it's not captured in our constitution or in other areas. That's why the KM management has to come with these bylaws. For example, he mentioned something that you have on the highway. You see the cars that are parked wrongfully, and you see people washing the cars on the highway. These are all anti-litterings. You can charge, if you feel that the person, the offense that he committed under the KMC bylaws, you can take him under the Constitution, under the Motor Traffic Act, obstructing under the public highway. And that could be higher punishment than the bylaws. This is what I just want to clarify.
Okay.
The laws are
let me extend to that. Thank you so much. This bylaw derives from an act of Local Government Act 2002. There is a provision which talks about these penalties. Section 55, subsection 55A, subsection B. It says, prescribes a penalty of a fine not exceeding $20,000 or terms of imprisonment not exceeding 1 year, or both in respect of an offense created under paragraph A. So what I want to say here is that the bylaw talks about an issue and it talks about a penalty. But there is the main act which gives mandate to council to come up with bylaws, has given an amount of over $20,000 or to a term of imprisonment of almost a year. So I just want to buttress the point of the Commissioner of Mobile Traffic. So it's not going to be limited to this thing. There are laws which works together with the bylaws. Thank you so much.
We had an incident. I'm not sure if it's 2019 or 2018. All right. So with that, we've worked with the police intervention unit. I think they were mounting checkpoints at the market while we were also working on upgrading the security at the market. We have installed a CCTV camera there. We have installed almost 100 solar lights and 1 tower light to keep the market well lit. And I think since then we haven't had any incident that I am aware of, at least. But remember, bylaws are more of civil issues and not criminal issues. Criminal issues are already covered under the Constitution and directly under the purview of the IG and the Gambia Police Force. So I think these are not related issues. Our bylaws are more targeted to community issues and civil issues. They might not necessarily be a crime, but they cause inconvenience and disorder within our community. So I think that's the difference. Maybe I'll call the Commissioner to expand.
At times, we have breaking offenses within our market. Sometimes when the offenders are arrested, they are referred to Serakunda Police Station, investigation will be mounted, and the charges will refer against the perpetrators or culprits. So these are two different issues. This is why. And the sister forces here are present also. I mean, they will engage on arresting people found on this anti-littering issue and other obstruction. Actually, they will refer them to Kanifing Municipal Police, and we'll take off from there, engage the suspect or defaulters, and arrange them before our municipal court, situated at multi-purpose along Jimpex Road.
Ingredients on what the mayor said. And then I want to concur with the journalists who actually say Gambians, most of them are not law-abiding. Now, we, of course, we are law-abiding. We should thank the KMC management for coming up for the first time out of many municipalities, out of many councils, for them to come up with these bylaws. Now, these bylaws are for us. who are to implement these bylaws, not the mayor to go and arrest your neighbors. It is our residents, ourselves, that we should come with those offenders to report it to the either KM or to the nearest police station. But we are compromising ourselves on this maslaha. That's why the speaker said, we are not law-abiding. We are doing so much of maslaha. You will see your neighbors with this dumping side or with other things, but to call the commissioner, KM, you will say, when I call, dinañu wax ne man mbokam la, man ma dem report ko. No, the laws, we cannot make the laws and put them under our bed. These laws has to be implemented. As a good citizen, we are all police officers. We are all police officers. That's why you said most of the laws are not implemented. And then if you are hardworking and implementing these laws, they term you as a bad person. So with attitudinal changes, these laws cannot just be made and put on table. We must practice them. That's what I want to add.
I'll allow them to answer the numbers version, but I'll speak on the how to reach out to the council. As you know, our council has done something historic, which no council has ever done, which is to create in every ward an office. Every ward within this municipality, 19 wards, has a WDC office where you can reach your councillor, you can reach your WDC, where the alcalde is a representative, the youth leader and other members, and you can easily report all these offenses. Secondly is that we always get feedback also on our social media with photos. I believe the Director of Services can attest. For example, in the Fajara area, we got photos and video evidence sent to our social media messaging system reporting illegal dumping, etc. So there are many ways in this modern age of getting to us without necessarily picking up a telephone. But you're right. I think once upon a time we discussed at our security task force, I think specifically for the fire service, to coming up with a free number that is easy through Pura to call. And I think we should follow up on that. But I'll allow the commissioners to answer on the telephone for the police.
Well, there are a lot of numbers that have been provided which are linking the community and the police headquarters. There are billboards that are showing who to call. And I think it has been very operational. People have been calling these numbers, and at the end of the day, the problems are tackled. So definitely, I have seen no loophole in contacting the security. Otherwise, thank you.
Thank you. To add on what you have said, now, it doesn't necessarily mean that if you don't see a KMC police officer or you don't have the contact, the offense is not committed. Hence, the offense is committed. You can report it to any nearest police station. That's why we are called GD, General Duty Officers. A police officer can arrest any offense and hand it over to the competent unit. For example, we can do the forestry job. If you find somebody cutting a tree and we know that it is legal cutting, we can arrest the person and then hand it over to the forestry man. We can arrest a drug dealer, hand it over to a drug squad officer. It is GD. These bylaws doesn't mean that purposely the KMC officers should implement it. No, it is a law. And we are the law enforcement officers. That's why all the law enforcement officers are invited here. You can even report it to the nearest army officer who lives near to your house. And then he will take the matter to the appropriate authority. Thank you.
I am Chief Superintendent Nero Sambu from the DLEAG, Drug Law Enforcement Agency. I mean, before reporting everything, I think what we should do is to sensitize the people. Some of the people are doing it, but they don't know. Especially these garage people, these mechanics. They are everywhere, everywhere. So I think we have to have a task force that would sensitize these people and tell them that this is not right, we should not do this, and if we come again and see you doing this, you will be prosecuted. before we report anything? Thank you.
All right, I think this is a good question, and I think it's about our property rates mostly. So council, as you know, is mandated to collect property taxes from every property within the municipality. What has been happening is, for example, person A sells their property to person B, they go make the transfer at the Ministry of Lands, and then council doesn't have a track record. So meaning we will still be sending an invoice to person A, not knowing it's person B who lives there. So it is the responsibility of a person, when you sell your property, to come to the council and notify us that you have sold your property, so we invoice the right person. We have about, I think, 35,000 registered properties within the KM. There's also a large amount that is unregistered. But out of these 35,000, there's a big number, I think we'll get the statistics later, of people who have sold their properties and we don't have record of it. So we keep invoicing the old owner. And remember, taxes are the responsibility of the citizen. It's not the responsibility of the government to come and investigate. It is your responsibility to declare and notify. So this is why we have put it there, to ensure that people comply. Director of Compliance.
Thank you so much. I just want to dilate more on what you've asked. There are two portions in that bylaw. One talks about leased properties. One talks about other properties. You see, for example, I'll give an example. I live in Bakau. We have a community where maybe 100 people may be living in one compound. And then the name of the person will be in the name of somebody who passed away. And if that happens, you cannot bring dead people to court, isn't it? So if, for example, there is a liability and we want to get those liabilities, the only thing we have to do, somebody must come. They must come and regularize. Sometimes in a community, they look at the most eldest person in those communities to come and be the landowners of that compound, so to take care of that. And also, as the Lord Mayor has rightly said, we have been having problems with properties, especially leased properties. People will be dealing with lawyers to do transfers of their properties without coming to council. But with the coming of this bylaw, it is mandated on every landowner whose property is leased or to be transferred by a lawyer to ensure that changes are being done on council's ledger, to ensure that whatever is to be done is done in the best way. So that's what I wanted to add. Thank you so much.
I have a question with regards to the mechanic garage. I just want to know, is it right for mechanic garage to be operated in any place, like anywhere? Is it right? Because we have a scenario back at our end. There is this mechanic garage that is almost in service, but the place where it is located is so not appropriate. We have compounds all over, and then the place is just so small. So I want to know, is it right for them to open mechanic garage at any place, anywhere they want to?
Thank you very much. Last week we embarked on visiting this garage, and we've made several arrests, and those people were arraigned before the court, and each were found and convicted. Please, and we are embarking on we are working on this issue so that at least these people who own this fitter garage will be dealt with according to our bylaws.
If I can add on that, mechanic garages operating within our communities, I think now they're all over the place, has been a habit for a very long time, but it's not right. It's definitely not right. What we lack as a municipality for the past several years is that enforcement capability. But the council is the one that's supposed to license these businesses and allow them to operate in public areas. But because of a lack of enforcement, lack of zoning, lack of bylaws, this could not be done. And this is what we've all seen at the General Council. Councillors live within the communities. So people like yourselves and many of you have gone to the councillors and complained about the obstruction the garages are causing, the litter they are causing within those neighborhoods. And they have engaged the councillors, and this is why we have created these bylaws. But now that the bylaws are here, we will not only use the muscle of council, which I have said is limited, we will also now tap into the muscle of the other security sectors to make sure that it is done. I think just last week or two, Our commissioner has served with our planning department many eviction notices, right? Notice to vacate some public areas that have been turned into mechanic garages. It is a widespread problem, almost like a cancer within our municipality. And we are determined now with these bylaws to make sure it's regulated. We don't want to prevent anybody from having a livelihood. That is not our goal. We know that Gambia is a poor country. We know that there is not much employment, and many people rely on this as a source of income. However, we have zones where this can be conducted safely and in an organized and clean fashion. We think if you are going to have a respectable mechanic garage, you should be within a plot of land that is well fenced and well organized. I think that would even make your customers trust you better than being in the street and leaving their cars exposed like that. So we are definitely in concurrence with you and will push to make sure it's organized. I like your statement, are said to be corrupt, but are they corrupt? That's what I'm asking. So they are said to be corrupt, and this is an allegation. Unfortunately, we cannot deal with allegations. We deal with evidence. And I think one of our first initiatives when we came into council, we put up billboards all over the municipality and even ads on TV. I think the Gambia Police Force even has billboards all over. I've seen one in Brusubi. It is the responsibility of the citizen to report corruption. But you cannot bribe an official and then start telling the story that he's corrupt. But guess what? You are corrupt as well. It takes two to transact. The guy who's bribing to get something in return, which is a favor, and the guy who accepts the bribe. So if you ever call somebody corrupt after you have given them money, guess what? You are also corrupt. So it is the onus of the citizen. It is your responsibility to report corruption. I think just, 2 weeks ago, I think roughly a month ago, we had somebody report corruption and wrote to the council, to my office, with a letterhead, evidence of check payment. I think it was up to $100,000. $100,000. To bribe somebody with $100,000. But he reported and said, this person has threatened me and has asked me for a bribe, and here is all the evidence. That person is under suspension and investigation. I think Kairaba Police Station will tell you, we even jailed, I think, Commissioner, before your time, we jailed some staff who were caught to be wanting. So if the citizens don't accept corruption, there will be no corruption in this country. So every time you blame somebody for being corrupt, make sure, one, you did not give him anything, and two, you have provided evidence of his corruption, or else it's just an allegation that we can do nothing about. So let us differentiate between said to be corrupt and corrupt. They are two different things. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you so much for that question. I think there are checking mechanisms within the KMC. You have a department called Audits Department. You also have a department called Compliance. You also have a department called the Police. All these people get into the field to check what is going on, and if they come with any anomaly, a report would be written and it will be dealt with accordingly. So that is what I want to add. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I just want to mention something about corruption. Corruption is in twofold. It's give and take. You who gives, you commit an offense. The receiver commits an offense. That's all. That's what I want to say. And then I want to come to about these vehicles that are wrongfully parked on the highway. I just want to beg for indulgence of the KMC to provide us a larger space. If that happened, I swear, as long as we stay in this municipality, you will not see any cars on the road. Under the RTA, the Road Traffic Act, Section 65(1) in bracket, says no person should leave a disabled vehicle on a highway, on a public highway. A person who does that contravene that subsection and a fine not less than $15,000, not more than $50,000, in default, 10 years imprisonment. So it's an offense, serious offense. He said, even whereas I am driving on this public highway and I had a disabled vehicle, just to summarize, disabled vehicle, moy motobu pan. Disabled vehicle If you leave it while it's moving, you should leave an apprentice or a mechanic, even on the highway. Much more what we are seeing in the entire KMC. It's only this highway. Apart from that highway, all the other roads are parked by these disabled vehicles. And the offense there is very severe. Under 65, one in bracket of the Motor Traffic Act. A fine or 15 years imprisonment. So, but because we do, maybe the journalists can come, why are you not exercising it? We are, of course. If you ask the Lord Mayor, they sponsor us, the police, to make our towing vehicle at a tune of $43,000. And it is on motion. And we are using this towing vehicle to remove those vehicles. But sometimes just a disabled vehicle, go to mobile traffic police. It's full of all disabled vehicles. Some are there for 1 year. Some are there for months. And then the ones that we park at all lines, 1 or 2 vehicles were vandalized. One was set on fire. And we are written to for the police to pay. But because of the law, we were able to bag ourselves. Because it stated a vehicle that is under the custody of the police, under Section 25C, unnumbered vehicle under the custody of the police, the person should pay every day $100 to the police. And when we counted this for 2 years, I think what he's supposed to pay for the police is more than what the police would pay him. Then he kept quiet.
I just want to add on to the answer to the question from the lady about the council staff who are said to be corrupt. Those are staff matters, and we have internal policies that deal with those matters. And also we have standing committees in the council, for example, the establishment and appointment committee that deal with staff appointment and disciplinary procedures. So if any staff is found wanting in terms of corruption, the right action is taken internally. I don't think we can have any such provisions in the bylaws regarding our staff matters. Those are internal staff matters that we have internal policies to deal with accordingly.
Many have said we have a strategy of communicating the bylaws. Although they say negligence of the law is not an excuse, but still it is our also responsibility to communicate that these are in existence, and understanding that Gambia doesn't have a high literacy rate. We want to translate this in all local languages to ensure that it is understood at a very detailed level by all members of our community. So I believe the task force led by Community Services under the Director of Service will work with the public relations, ensure this is on all traditional forms of media and also social media. It's already uploaded on our website to give access to people. I think we have given copies to all the media houses already, and we expect that maybe in the coming months we can fully start enforcing it with foot soldiers.
When we touch down, better broke down.
Gamtel G-Fiber, now you can enjoy super fast internet in gigabytes. G-Fiber is affordable, stable, secured, and accessible to homes, businesses, and enterprises. With Gamtel G-Fiber, the future is speed. Gamtel, creating a brighter future in communication.
So she became mine and see the
Agada.
Mbijan aganya.
Albaka.
Mbaka important.
Yo, nga transfer la sto.
Ya transfer la sto.
Ha, code nyenje.
Okay. Nsila ID soto.
Sa soto. Sorry. Agada.
Mbijan bro.
Albaka.
Mbaka.
Bara Allah service o tariaka. Mbale ki janna nun kunu bara tariaka.
Jannom yona forest de bureau. Gambia tonkon na no mbali ya bere. Birim koyna fo kato.
Bari si kodo kino kato ni fo bolong blabe.
56 branches mola soto Gambia jam.
Ha?
Gambia kono ani Gambia bantala bankol. Nka kodo kiya bere. Kodo sifa fo falindiro fo nyaadi lafta memmen na kodi topoto nin kodi maraw. Jannom number 1 ti nyonta. Andum fana nata anoda enterprise sotale. Wolam nyindi ko domorol fana kol fana be firale le dadi ma ni domorol ni fana beteat. Gambia dawda yalo nga kumfa kendol sotale je.
Wo moyo diat ha.
Apelenta
ni wo ka ni na lafta nyelen kendo le bina.
Yalo bu kanyi la ko la baraka ba.
Yalo ndel chosano lo.
Abaraka.